Today on Destination Polaris, we head south to Louisiana to build one of the biggest and baddest machines you've ever seen. Hold on. It's time to get dirty. Destination Polaris starts right now.
Welcome to Destination Polaris and Project X. We're at the home of S3 Powersports in Shreveport, Louisiana. You know what I like about these guys? They like to go big. Let's go find out what they're up to. Dustin.
Jerry Christie.
Dude, you got a mullet.
Long hair don't care.
Wow.
It's a lifestyle change since last year.
It's something.
It ain't a hairstyle, it's a lifestyle. So,
I hope the build is as nice as your hair.
it won't be as nice as my hair, but it'll be comparable.
Nice. So I imagine this will be a little different.
Just like last year, it starts off looking mild, it's gonna be wild when we're done with it.
We're going bigger, wider, taller, what are we doing?
Brighter colors, louder exhaust, bigger tires, it's gonna be wild.
Let's get you guys working.
When we got the call to build a second year in a row, I thought, what am I gonna do to top last year's? We ended up building the Incredible Hulk, the lime green and silver Razor 900 four-seater with our full custom cage. And last year I was building it as if I was going to drive it. This year, I'm building it for me, and so I went all out on this one. Building rigs and running S3 Powersports, I have the opportunity to buy any vehicle, any brand, any style that I would like. And I chose the Polaris, the Razor 1000 two-seater. It's a fantastic platform to start with. As far as I'm concerned, it is the best side-by-side on the market. Last year we did our full production setup that you can literally go on our website and buy. And this year I wanted people to see, like, gosh, these dudes can do some awesome stuff outside of their production items. So starting top to bottom on this build, or front to back, we're going with a custom bumper, winch. We got some really nice wheels and tires. We got a full 8-inch suspension lift, custom cage, light bar, stereo, snorkels, custom painted plastics, really nice seats, 5-point harnesses, full exhaust. That may be it. That doesn't sound like much when you name it that fast. Okay, should I slow it down and do it again? We build higher-end, really strong, really quality products with good geometry, good design, built for not just your average weekend warrior, but for the people that really like to ride hard. We build for guys all over the country, our cages, our A-arms, our suspension parts. We're located in the South, which is just tons of swamps, real deep mud riding, and that's why we build these big lifted bikes. It's ideal for how we grew up riding and what we love to do. It's different when you're building for me as opposed to just a shop bike, because I save some little tricks that I wouldn't normally do, and I bring them out on my rigs. So I'm excited to get it put together. I'm excited to see the plastics on it, but I have a little bit of anxiety about how it's going to turn out, if it's going to be like I've imagined it in my head. Let's start building this thing. That way I don't have to worry about it anymore. Let's get it done.
Okay, these guys are gonna finish tearing apart the Razor, and when we come back, we're gonna get to work on building. Oh, Dustin, you got a name for this yet?
I've got a couple I'm mulling around. Undecided.
Undecided. All right, well, we'll figure it out. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Project X is brought to you by S3 Powersports. Watch or be watched. And by ITP, the world's #1 aftermarket ATV and UTV tire and wheel source. And by Progressive Insurance. Think easier, think Progressive. And by Hatfield McCoy, where the trail riding adventure begins.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. You can see our Razor XP 1000 totally torn apart. Looks like you guys left in the bad part of town, but I know you didn't. Dustin, what do you want to start with?
Let's start with what we're known best for, that big 8-inch lift. So let's get some legs and some feet on this thing.
Cool.
The biggest parts that we're putting on this bike is our custom 8-inch lift that we're building for this 1000 Razor. This is something we've recently released. We change out all the front A-arms. We change out all the rear radius rods. We supply you with Gorilla axles. We supply you with all the bracketry from a stock ride height to add in 8 inches of ground clearance. So when you extend the A-arm, it's going to create a larger moment on your shocks, which kind of decreases your spring rate more or less, and so you don't want your shocks to bottom out. So part of spreading the A-arms out and putting more leverage on your shocks is you got to create an upper bracket. And so we attach it to factory frame points. Doesn't require any drilling, cutting, welding. We took advantage of the quality shocks that Polaris offers on this thing and used them with our lift kit, so you don't even have to change the shocks to go on with our suspension. So with this 8-inch lift, these larger tires, really hard riding style, you've got to pair this thing with some strong CVs. And so we went with Gorilla axles on this build. Really good product, a really strong CV joint that we're going to put to the test. Well, we wanted our kit to be 4 inches wider than factory, so we moved the trailing arm from the factory position 2 inches wider. We've reinforced the factory one, as well as moved it to the outside of the frame so that you can use your factory trailing arm.
Dustin, you ready? I'm gonna roll all 4 of these to you at the same time. Okay, now here comes another one, Dustin. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Oh, fumble.
Jared, no, that was a bad pass.
Bad pass? All right, dude, there's a farmer out there that I'm sure is really mad right now that he stole his tires.
No doubt about it. These are straight off of a tractor, it looks like, don't they? Not a lot of people know about them. It's called a superior traction tires. And nobody's running them right now, and you know me. I got to try something nobody else is doing.
I don't know if they're big enough.
34 inches tall.
Jeez, dude.
That's got to be good. 4-inch deep lugs. Surely that's going to do good in the mud, huh? The wheel I chose pure aesthetically because I thought they looked good, and I like looking cool. So this time we went with the Motorsport Alloy M22 Enduro. It's a newly released wheel that just looks absolutely sick. It's black and black chrome, and they go together well, man, and it really complements this build. So a beautiful wheel.
Here you go, Dustin. These are the rest of your snorkel pieces you asked for, right?
Jared, this is actually the Muzzy exhaust. What? So I'm gonna take this before you hurt yourself. The Muzzy Dual. I'm one of those people you're real loyal to who takes care of you. They take really good care of us. And until that changes, man, we're gonna rock some Muzzies. Cool. We have the opportunity to get any exhaust that we want, but I really like Muzzy. It aesthetically looks awesome, but you also get the horsepower gain running them. And their fit and finish is second to none. So we're going with Muzzy exhaust again on the 1000.
X marks the spot, Dustin. I got to figure it out this time. Here's your exhaust.
No, that's how it gets air. We've got to run snorkels. As much mud riding as we do, we got to keep the engine dry. So one of the things that we do is one of our in-house custom snorkels for it to keep this motor dry, keep the belt system dry too. So.
Dustin, looks nice. How's it coming?
You got to be excited, man. It's starting to come together and really look like something now. So.
Come up with a name for it yet?
I've got a couple I'm still working on. I've got to wait on a finished product to decide what I'm going to call it.
All right, well, good enough. When we come back, we're going to put the cage on, the seats, plastics, everything else. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Project X is brought to you by Powersports Place, ATV and UTV performance, powered by Summit Racing. And by Aluma Trailers, the best aluminum trailer available. And by Brimstone Recreation Area, where the journey is your reward.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. You can see our Razor XP 1000 is a little taller than it used to be, and now it's time to add some color. Let's throw on the plastics.
And so this year I found an orange that I really wanted to go with. I found it on a little hot rod, and it's called Molten Orange. I took that to the extreme, and I took body line up. I did everything orange from the body line up. From body line down, we did all silver, and I wanted some really unique pinstriping, really unique body lines that I wanted followed. And so I went with a little guy out of Little Rock, Arkansas. He owns SJ Solutions, and he did an absolute magnificent job on this build.
Dustin, plastics are on. What do you think, man?
I couldn't be more excited, man. The orange and the silver look awesome together. So next thing we'll put on is the front bumper and the winch. Let's get after those. On the 1000, we've come out with a new bumper that we've never actually done before. So we went with all flat plate, broke to match up with the natural body lines. On the winch with this build, we went with a Moto Alliance Viper Elite 5000. We've become a big fan of this winch. We've really put it to the test under some terrible conditions, so we know no matter how hung up we can get, we can pull it with the Viper 5000. This is what I've been waiting for. My baby is the cage, the one that I've been hiding for a long time, that one-off cage. So now we throw it on, let's see what it looks like.
Do we need like a trampoline to get this thing?
I don't know how we're gonna do it, bud. I'm gonna be honest. You ready? Have you got your corner, Jared? That's what I'm worried about. Do not let it hit that plastic, Jared. We've got some really nice production cages that we make for the 1000 that have become really popular. But one thing I wanted to do different on this one, since it's my personal rig, is I wanted to do a full custom one-off cage. But I want people to see if they call us and say, hey, I want something nobody's got. That's not out of the question for us. I'm real happy, man. That's the first time I've seen the cage mounted on the bike. And I was going for that low, real chopped style. It's low, that's for sure.
Now, anybody over 6 foot tall is gonna have a hard time with this cage, but since he's kind of a short little guy, he'll be just fine. Your mullet makes you look taller though.
It's the length of my hair, it's an illusion. I went outside the box in the past couple of months. I decided that I wanted to grow a mullet, and I think that's translated into a better lifestyle. I bought a Trans Am T-top earlier. I didn't even want one. It's the hair that made me do it.
Dude, all we have left is the seats.
That's it, man. These Pro Armor seats are almost too comfortable to get out of.
Yeah.
But you're covering up the best part.
What do you mean I'm covering the best part?
Get your butt out of the seat and see what's going on here. All right. Pow! Sewn into the seats. Only ones in the country. Can't beat that. They took care of us on these. The guys over at Pro Armor, I contacted them when we started this build. I said, man, we've got to do some seats that nobody's seen before. Like a glove. What I went with on these is we did the sniper seats from Pro Armor. But the coolest thing that they did is they made our logo wrap from one seat to the other. They spent a ton of time on these things, and you can really tell it. We do a lot of business with Pro Armor. They make some awesome doors, and I knew I wanted their seats also. So they did full one-off customs for me that I love. We've got off-road sound systems here in-house that does all our full custom stereos.
We've got 2 wet sound speakers, the 8-inch Rev 8s.
The Rev 8, which is a horn-loaded compression driver. It's a pro audio driver, just like you'd see at a concert, with our swivel clamps, so you can take them on and off very easily. It's a marine-grade speaker. All we do is marine audio for boats and the side-by-sides Powersports market.
We've got a marine amplifier mounted under the dash with a Bluetooth hookup just to keep it clean.
Very loud. That's one thing we're known for, is having the loudest speaker on the market.
Between wet sounds, off-road sound systems, and S3, you're gonna hear us coming and see us going. So it's gonna be a killer combination. Whenever I look at this thing, I'm a little nauseous, but it's a good nauseous.
It's the Mexican food at lunch.
Maybe it was Mexican food. I said it once before, and I'll say it again. I would put my guys, my fabricators, my mechanics against anybody in the country in a biker build-off, and I feel like we come out on top.
Dude, it's done. We're sitting in it. What do you think?
Man, I'm ready to ride. I'm stoked with how it turned out. Let's put it to the test.
All right. Well, did you finally come up with a name?
Man, all things completed and looking at it, I think I'm gonna call it Showstopper, because when we roll in, it's gonna shut down to check this thing out.
Nice, nice. Well, stick around, because when we come back, we're gonna take the Showstopper and get dirty. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Project X is brought to you by Rockford Fosgate, car audio for fanatics, and by DJI, the future of possible, and by Maui Jim Sunglasses, the fastest growing premium polarized sunglass maker in the world.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. We've made our way from Shreveport, Louisiana to Jacksonville, Texas, and River Run ATV Park. We got the machine, we got some mud. Let's get dirty.
How could you be more excited? You can look at the bike, it speaks for itself. Looks like a tank. It's like a small truck is what this thing is. This is the one that I always wanted to build. Our signature stuff is what I really like about this build, which is the 8-inch lift. Makes this thing monstrous. Gonna be one of the biggest 1,000 razors in the country right now. Aesthetically, those tires, the Superior traction tires, are ridiculous. They look awesome on here. As deep as the lugs are, the pattern that they're running, it's gonna be a nasty pulling tires. You know, the ProStar engine that's in this 1000 makes a ton of power, and when you lock this thing in low range in 4-wheel drive, it has no problem turning these 34-inch tires over. So I know whenever you get it down deep, whenever it's really bogged up in some mud, you put a little more throttle to it and it's gonna clean those tires out and get them to spin it. The Muzzies are a good sounding exhaust. This ProStar motor makes a good sound, and when you pair it with a Muzzy exhaust, it is exceptional. It really has a deep rumble, and when you get down on it, it makes some noise. So awesome exhaust that I'm really pleased with. You know, when you would go cage, light bars, snorkels, stereo pods, everything up orange, and then all the plastics down silver, it sets it off. So it's got that old hot rod style, but with some cool new pinstriping and some other little things to make it pop. So it's a combination I was going for. So all the other goodies that we put on it, the really comfortable Pro Armor seats, they did a really unique custom seat with the S3 logo stitched across both. Some really cool 3-inch harnesses paired with it to keep us locked in there. Wet Sounds threw us together an awesome stereo that Off-Road Sound System did the install on. It absolutely jams and looks good, man. It all flows together to make just a killer rig that it's gonna be tough to top this one. This may be the biggest one I built. That's why we went all out on this one. I wanted people to see what S3 Powersports can do, what we're about, and we have built just a creation that is ridiculous. It's another level. And it's gonna stop some shows, hence the name Showstopper. and it did better than I even expected. This is the first time that I've really got to put this 8-inch in some deep mud and abuse it, and it shined. It will absolutely get it. So it definitely did not disappoint. Aesthetically, it's on point, but when you put it in a hole, this thing shines. What I've told a lot of people when it comes to building big rigs like this, it's the combination of things. It's going to be the power of the motor, the low gearing and low range, the quality clutching that Polaris uses, the 8-inch lift that we've got on there, the strong Gorilla CVs, the superior traction tires. That accumulation of things is what made this rig above and beyond what you would expect in the riding terrain that we use it for. I always think what I build is cool and looks really good, but to hear other people say it is what matters to me. That's very important. Somewhat of a dream come true for me. It's something I've wanted to build for a long time.